Good afternoon to all. I'm here to share some information on challenges faced in the production and cultivation of tomatoes and chilies. As you all aware, recently there is consumer demand, there is a crisis in tomato price, tomato as well as chili price has gone up. It is not so all the time. So in tomato, we have two problems. One is when shortage of fruits, there is a price rise. When there is excess production, the farmers will be throwing those on the roads.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Can you put the slides in a slideshow mode, sir?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
So when there is excess production, they will be throwing on the roads or fields. Because of the cost, they are not able to recover. The production costs are much more than the selling price. But whereas in case of chili, it is not so. You have this being used as a fresh as well as dry form. So the people can put for ripening stage and then they harvest, dry it and store it. In India now we have a lot of cold storages available in chili production areas. They can store for more than a year. So chili glut and demand is not that issue. Whereas tomato, it is a serious concern. Let us see why we have to face this type of situation. If you see the production in India, the number one state is Andhra Pradesh, which produces maximum tomato, followed by Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka. See, the central part of India, the major region where tomato is produced throughout the year, and that will be supplied to the northern parts of the country. But this production belts, whenever there is a constraint in the production or reduction in the area, the price will rise. This is mainly because of two reasons. One is the challenges is one is insect and pest disease, insect pests and diseases outbreaks. Why this happens is because of erratic weather patterns, which will be varying in the monsoon conditions and unseasonal rains, sudden appearance of drought conditions. All this leads to the production problems. Therefore, the yield will come down. When the demand is more, when the supply is less, the price rise will increase. The other cost is because of the failures of the certain crops and the next season crop to take up, the farmers heavily depends on the input costs, the fertilizers, pesticides, labor, all this. When the cost is more, if one crop fails for him to raise the next crop, he is economically weakened. So if two crops fails, the third crop he will not definitely will take up. Because of these reasons, when the production area is reduced, automatically the consumption is not reduced and the price will go high. That is what happened in the recent years. If you see what are the major issues in the first part is the biotic problems, that is the insects, nematodes and diseases which cause the crop failure. There are four important problems in insect and nematodes: food borer, pinworm, spider mite, and root knot. In case of diseases, there is a damping of late blight, early blight, bacterial wilt, bacterial spot, and tomato leaf curl, tomato mosaic, and rest several other virus diseases. The fruit borers, which comes in the mature stage, and when the young fruits are there, the worm, the eggs laid by the moth and that will hatch and then bore it and go inside and then eat, and when it becomes adult, the worm, then they come out with that. leaving a bore inside that. This type of fruits is unmarketable, and it is also during harvesting stage itself, farmer will throw away all this. So the huge loss will happen. Normally, the process initiates at the flowering stage, and the immature fruit stage, it will start developing. The best way is to collect and destroy infested fruits in the early stage, and simultaneously put some pheromones which can attract the female moths, and then release some egg parasites which can be used in the field conditions, which they parasitize the larvae and kill them. In addition to this, you also can spray the Bacillus thuringiensis, which is poisonous to these borers, or chemical sprays. Certain chemicals like chlorprenil and fluorobenzil, lambda-cyclothrene, are these few of these which we sprayed, or corazine, which is a new one. When you spray this, you should keep waiting period also. You should not harvest immediately, or at least a week, 10 days time, we should be left for harvesting. Otherwise, the pesticide residue will remain in the fruit which we consume. It becomes a problem for our health. Next important problem which is there is the tomato moth or pinworm, which is an introduced pathogen which came from South America. Serious concern in tomato. This pest attacks on the leaf and mines boring, tunnel type. Severe cases, the tunnels, the leaf will be dry up, or the larvae will become bigger, and then they eat away the green portion and thereby reduce the leaf surface. And also it bores the fruits, immature fruits, as well as the ripened fruits. You will see a small holes in this. This is the most economic damage. If this fruit damage is there, then it is unfit for marketing or consumption. And in favorable conditions, whole plot will get damaged. This is how the seriousness of this pest. The best way is integrated approach, wherein destruction of infested twigs, then use pheromone traps and light traps. Light traps because it attracts towards light, and now light traps with suction is the new improvised one, wherein the light attracts the adults, and when they come nearer to the light, there is a suction which attracts this suction to this, it will kill in here. So thereby the population is get reduced, and the insect population is not there, damage will come down. In addition to these physical methods, you can also use biopesticides like Bacillus, Beauveria, NPV formulations, and neem-based pesticides, neem azadirachtin, neem seed kernel extract. Such things also can be applied, which are eco-friendly and non-toxic to the humans. Whereas the chemical pesticides like spinosad, again fluorobenzimide, indoxacarb, these can be used with the recommended dose at weekly intervals. And this has to be followed only when there is a heavy incidence of population or heavy emergence. That time only we should use chemicals. Otherwise, best could be the light traps, and the neem-based pesticides can able to manage this pest. Next is the tomato spider mite. This is usually comes in tomato during summer months. When temperatures increases, this becomes more number, and becomes heavy infestation, fruit as well as then the plant, and suck the sap and feeds, and it will make dry, so that the yield drastically reduces and the fruit quality is affected. So, whereas in the next important is the nematodes, which you will not able to see in the above ground part, except in severe cases you will see the plants wilting, yellowing, and stunting type. But if you see and the roots, heavy nodules will be there. So these are in the soil. If you are cultivating in same field year after year, the problem persists and it will become more serious. And being in a soil-borne nature, it is the best way to manage these things rather than chemicals is the improving the soil health. So how it is nowadays it can be used is the Trichoderma, Pseudomonas, Bacillomyces, these are the microbial organisms which can be multiplied in farmyard manure or cocoa and neem cake, and this can be applied to the field or into the plant in the soil during planting time or even at a later stage. Or in the growing conditions also you can use soil drench of neem cake suspension along with these biopesticide also can able to reduce these things. In a severe or heavy infested soils, to reduce the population, one time you can use the chemicals such as Valum Prime, which is a fluoropyrum, which is very effective now. It can be used. Otherwise, we should follow the biological approach. Both the chili and the tomato, the diseases starts the beginning stage itself, from the seedling stage. When the seed is get infested and such seed if you plant, then the seedlings get collapsed during germination time, what we call damping up. This may be due to, if you are raising in the soil bed, this is problem. And sometimes in the cocoa path raised seedling trays also, if the seed is infested, it will be problem. This is caused by Phythium, Phytophthora, Fusarium, Rhizoctena, 4 different pathogens. And in all the cases are favored by humidity, high moisture content, and ill drain conditions are the one which is favorable for to develop this disease. The best way is optimize irrigation schedule, and then as and when you notice few seedlings are dying, immediately soil drenching of chemicals like Captan or copper hydroxide, it will immediately arrest. But to sustain in the beginning itself, the best way is to use biocontrol agents like Trichoderma, Pseudomonas, Bacillus, along with neem cake mixed with cocoa peat, so that it is mixed and prepared. They will able to take care in the seedling stage. And in the field conditions, when rains, intermittent rains or cloudy weather is there, one serious disease which comes is the Phytophthora late blight, which comes on the leaves and blightens within 24 to 48 hours, this entire field will spread. Such a rapid spread of this disease. And in some cases, the other species is there which occurs only on fruits when rain flash and intermittent rains are there. So that type of symptoms, when you see few plants, we should destroy and then immediately take spray. During cool weather and the intermittent rains, the humidity is more than 90%. This is highly favorable condition for disease development. If you see in the field case, best thing is sanitation. The infected leaves has to be collected in the bottom leaves to be destroyed, and then followed by spraying mancozeb or propanib. And then if these are not effective, then next spray at least a week after or 5 to 6 days after. The highly systemic fungicides like Metiram or Cymoxanil, Acrobat, which are very effective in reducing the incidence of this disease. The opposite is early blight, when intermittent cool season and rain followed by high temperature rays. The early blight comes in the infection. This is small specks and dots which will start, and then it will dry up and it will gradually cover entire surface. This is also very common in tomato. So for this again, foliar spray of mancozeb or Meterium are same chemicals which are used for early blight also can help for reducing this disease. The next important disease in tomato is again a soil-borne, is a bacteria which is the Ralstonia solanacearum. Once the soil, it is a soil-borne pathogen which exists in the soil. When the plants are planted during flowering or fruiting time, the plants show wilting suddenly and then droop and dry. If you pull that plant and cut open and dip in water, you will get a ooze, which is like a oily, slimy structure you can see. So that is how you can identify in the field conditions. But once the disease comes, there is no effective chemical which can be used to control this bacteria. The best way to them is the soil conditions. Rotation of crops is one important thing. Should not be grown solanaceous crops year after same season after, like tomato, potato, and chili, brinjal, which are the main hosts. At least rotation of cereal crops or legume crops is compulsory for this. And there are certain chemicals like streptocycline, which is antibiotic, but it is not advisable to use in a regular way. Only to reduce the population once in a while you can use. Otherwise, copper oxychloride is the one which can be drenched in a few plants if the infestation is less percentage. If there is a soil is heavily infested, then we should not use these chemicals. Then again, another bacterial disease is the leaf spot, which are again very common in tomato as well as in chili and capsicum, where the fruits, you will see the spots, especially during rainy season, it is common. When rain splash occurs on the infected spots, they spread on the plant, on leaves, and the fruits. And they subsequently rise in temperature, they develop the symptoms and they dry up and spoil the fruit quality, these things. Here again, there is the destruction of debris and use copper oxychloride, same chemical, it can be streptomycin sulfate or copper oxychloride can be used. Next, come to the viral diseases. Again, viral diseases are as such cannot be spread to the plants, but they are carried by insects which are sap-sucking insects. There are three major insect groups are the whitefly. Whitefly is the one which sucks, causing the leaf curl disease, is a bigomovirus, a whitefly transmitted. Any leaf, there are several species of bigomoviruses, but all of them transmitted by Bemisia tabaci. And the symptoms are more or looks like similar leaf curling, yellowing, stunting, like that. The another group is the thrips. Thrips are the ones which insects which are minute. Again, they transmit in a persistent manner. The symptoms will be on the leaf ring spots, necrosis, top necrosis, and the fruits ring spots and all that. This usually when you see such symptoms, you will find this is the thrips-associated taspervirus infection. And there are, you find mosaic and leaf curling, leaf narrowing and yellowing type of symptoms, which are caused by, again, aphid transmitted viruses. There are two types of viruses. One is the chili vinyl mottle virus, hepatic. Another one is the cucumber mosaic virus. These are the commonly you find, but nowadays, in past 5 years, in all tomato growing areas, cucumber mosaic causing a different type of symptoms. The fruits, instead of causing mosaic and leaf narrowing, they now cause yellowing type of symptoms in the fruits. During the ripening only you will see such symptoms, and when you cut and open, that entire fruit gets black and or soggy or a rubbery type of fruits. It is unmarketable, no taste, and it cannot be used. So, and if you see the such fruits in the market, the market when it goes, the buyer, the wholesale markets, they even few fruits they see, the entire lot they reject. So that is the huge loss when farmers find on these fruits. There are other two viruses, is viruses, which are not transmitted by any insects, but they carried on the seed surface. These are the tobacco mosaic, tomato mosaic, and tomato mosaic mottle, and tomato brown rugose fruit virus. These are all carried on the seed surface. When the seed germinates, they get damaged. At that time, the plants get infected and develop. In the field, plant-to-plant spread is mainly due to the human activities. When you prune or tying, when you are doing clipping, these things. So this sap from infected plant to the healthy plant will spread through tools as well as human operations. And similar case even in chili and capsicums, where these viruses cause such symptoms. As no single method you can approach for the viral diseases. It should be starting from the seedling raising, an insect-proof net where the seedling has to be covered in the seedbed. Nowadays, seedlings are raised by nurserymen. In such cases, also you have to see the common mistake is the nurserymen do is the shade nets they use for growing, which is not an insect-proof, but it is only light cutoff. If you are using a shade net, and then individual rows should be covered with a nylon net, which is a 40-60 mesh. Then only it is protective from the insect sucking pest. Otherwise, you are mixing this thing. The other thing is, in the seedling trays or in the seed bed, you should apply the microbial like Pseudomonas and Bacillus, Trichodermal, mixed with the FIM or neem cake. And that has to be mixed with the coco pit and then used for raising seedlings. By this process, you get a healthy quality seedlings with a stronger root system, which can establish in the main field. So that is in the beginning, it should be taken care. The second aspect is prior to seedling transplanting, it should be drenched with any systemic chemical, either spray or drenching. Then it should be transplanted to the main field. When you go to the main field, the border should be 2 rows of maize or sorghum or bajra. A tall growing crop should be raised 7 to 10 days before, so that it grows to 1 feet or above height when you transplanting this main tomato crop. In the bunds or in between, you should use mulching sheet, silver polythene mulch. It is not a plastic sheet, it is agri mulch sheet should be used. And also use yellow and blue sticky traps, 15 to 20 per acre, so that they attract the sucking pests like thrips, aphids, and whitefly. And population will reduce, the insect spread of virus will be comes down. In addition, from transplanting 10 days after, every week, insecticide rotation should be followed. One is acephate or spiromycin or neem-based, along with neem-based pesticides, or Admire or fipronil, any one, all of these chemicals, only one should be used. It should not be repeated again and again. Each rotation spray should be different pesticide, along with neem-based pesticide is be sprayed, and its application gap should be 7 to 10 days interval. Until fruiting and fruit formation, it is to be followed. After fruits are formed, it should be stopped spraying of these chemical pesticides. Because after that, even the incidence comes, it is less than 5%, you are not going to lose. And also it will be avoiding the pesticide residues in the produce, in the fresh produce. And if at all anything is required for the sprays, we should use micronutrient or the seaweed extract or any immunity development, plant boosting or strengthening chemicals only should be applied, not the chemical pesticides. And you should avoid use of growth hormones or unregistered botanical pesticides, which they say which are not supposed to use, which are nothing but hormones mixed, which will weaken the plant, and then there is a more attraction of insects, and which leads to the high spreading viruses. In addition, there are resistant varieties available in tomato, the Arka Bed, Arka Rakshak, Arka Samrat. In addition, several private industries also have a tomato leaf curl resistant hybrids and even bacterial wilt resistant hybrids, and early and late blight tolerant varieties which can be used for growing. And one of the problems when excess production is there is the market price is low. Farmers usually throw in the food, but it should, instead of throwing, we should adopt a low cost preserving type of minimal processing, which can be made sauce or juice and then can be stored, so that at least 6 months period you can wait and it can be sold. If the processing industries are not taking, the reason being processing industries also needs a low price in the market. They take only when the price is low. They take low price and more volume. For them, the concentration is important. So that is why the farmers, when they fresh table type of tomatoes, there is a problem. Farmers should now grow processing type of tomato as well. If he has a 4 acres growing, at least 1 acre you should go processing and 3 acres the table type. So that if one is failed in the market, the other will have a chance to produce the preserve and supply to the processing industry. In the processing industry, if the processing varieties are there, the concentration and the qualities are meets the processing requirement. So the quantity required is half of the quantity as compared to the normal table tomato varieties. And let us see now in Chile what are the issues. Chile also, you see, India is the largest producer and exporter of chili, and next is the China. And we supply to the world more than 70% in chili in the form of dry chili as well as powder. And we are also consumers of chili, as India is known for highly diverse spice requirements. We produce a variety of chili types in India. And among the states, Andhra Pradesh again ranks #1, next Karnataka, followed by West Bengal and other states. And here again, the main problems is the insect and diseases and erratic weather conditions. Rising input costs are the main limitations. In Chile, there are two issues which are very much diseases one side and virus problems along with the insects, the sap-sucking insects are the major problems in Chile production, which we will see each one after. Like similar to the tomato, here also we have Phytophthora root rot, where we call it late blight in tomato, where similar pathogen, which is different species, Phytophthora capsi, which infects on the leaves and also on the stems and the seedlings. You see the entire field will get rotten and spoil within 2 to 3 days. It gets damaged. This usually the favorable conditions are intermittent rainfall or heavy rains and high humidity when is there. Such conditions, this disease comes. So here again, seed treatment with the bioagents like Trichoderma, Pseudomonas, Specimen seedlings with enriched cocopeat, or provide soil drainage also, because in heavy moisture condition this disease develops. Proper drainage conditions also is important. And whenever there is a humidity and intermittent rainfall, initial spray with Bodo mixture or copper hydroxide or chlorothinyl, mancozeb, it will able to take care if the infestation is low. If there is a infestation is severe or increasing, then we should go for Acrobat or Equation Pro or Sectin or Cabri Top, which are effectively in reducing this Phytophthora problem. And another problem in cool season time is the powdery mildew, which comes on the leaves, and heavy infestation will drop these leaves, and there is a reduction in the photosynthetic area. and they get automatically reduced in the yields. So this is can be easily same. The older leaves, infested leaves should be collected and destroyed, and then spray tridimarp or wettable sulfur or keratin at initial stage. Repeat 2-3 times, then it will be able to take care of this disease. Another serious important disease is the dieback or anthracnose. You can see in the seedling stage, vegetative stage, you will get tip drying up and like this. Whereas in the fruit, this disease is known to be a post-harvest disease. When harvesting time, if the drying is not proper, humidity is more, and so moisture content is high in the fruits, in the ripened fruits, this fungus develops. But nowadays, you are getting this past 5 years during rainy season and the green fruits. This is a different species of Coleotrichum which is occurring, which is causing on the green fruit infestation. Whereas the regular red ripened fruits infestation is Coleotrichum gliosporidis and Coleotrichum capsicum, which Dimasium are the 3 species which cause these red ripened fruits. The green fruit says is a Acutatum and another species which is causing on the green fruit stage. Again, here the management, again chemicals, Thyram, Captan, Seed Pro in the seed treatment is microbes like Bacillus, Trichoderma. Otherwise, on the foliar spray, carbendazim or thiophanate methyl or propiconazole or difenoconazole, which can be very effective in reducing the incidence. In addition, there are 2 leaf spots, one Cercospora, another is alternaria. Sometimes when rains followed by increase in temperature, these leaf spots will increase. Such cases, you follow copper oxychloride or azoxystrobin or hexaconazole, which can effectively control these 2 leaf spots. Past 5 years, again, chili is constrained because of the wet rot caused by Coenophora cucurbitarium, which is usually when rainy season, rains continuously coming, this fungus gets affected. And then when humidity content is more than 85%, this is spreads. If the rain followed by high temperature comes, it will dry up at the tip leaves and it will remain that much only. It won't spread further. It needs spread only high humidity conditions. So during that conditions, immediately after rain, we need to spray fungicides, copper oxychloride or mycobutanil or dithenium 45, which can effectively reduce. Last 2 years in Guntur and in Maharashtra, seed production areas got very much affected by this disease during growth stage when fruits are about to mature. During that time, rain came, that is spoiled most of the places. Again, same bacterial pathogen I showed in tomato as well as in chili and capsicum, similar. And if you come to the viral diseases, again here, there are 2 types of viruses again. Cucumber mosaic virus and chili venal mottle virus, which is a potyvirus and it is isometric virus. Both are transmitted by aphids in a non-persistent manner. So the aphids now usually in a vegetative stage, they come and suck, and during that stage from infected plant to healthy plant, they spread. And this has to be controlled with using a systemic insecticide like carbosulfan or fipronil or imidacloprid or quinolphos. Any of these spray, it can be reduced. Another problem is during vegetative stage and flowering stage is the caterpillar Heliothis, which comes heavily and then bores as well, fruits as well as in the leaf. And this is again, egg masses can be collected and destroyed. And spraying with neem oil or neem-based products, neem kernel extract or Bacillus thuringiensis application will be effective. In addition, chemical pesticides like imamectin benzoate or indoxacarb, novalurin, methyl spinosad can be applied and it can be able to be controlled. Like in a tomato, during summer season, you find red spider mite, whereas in chili, you find all the time mites problem. These are two types of mites. One is the yellow mite, which is very common, and it's not seen in the visually, but it is it can be seen by a lens under lens. Its damage can be very effectively seen, the downward curling and browning and brittling of the leaves. And that is, if you spray any spiromespin or ethion or chlorophenol, it can recover. Immediately it will recover and the new flesh will come. So that can be easily seen. Whereas the similar leaf curling type will come due to whitefly transmitted bigomovirus. This is chili leaf curl virus. You will find different types of symptoms like upward curling, stunted growth, reduced internodes, wrinkled leaves, and severe curl leaves. And fruits also get reduced in size. And this is becoming a serious for past 5 years in all the chili production areas. Earlier, it was only North Indian conditions, but now it is there throughout wherever chili is grown. The whitefly transmitted diseases, the main thing is to protect from the sap-sucking whiteflies, use of barrier crop around where 2 rows of maize are then, and then use of sticky traps, both yellow and the blue sticky traps, and the application of verticillin on spraying of neem azadirachtin or any neem-based products spray can reduce the population. In addition, the other chemicals are also effective, which can be used only in rotation weekly intervals up to flowering and fruit formation. Sizapar followed by carbosulfan or diphenthrin or spiromespin. Any of these chemicals, even though it is effective, should not be repeated again and again. Should be used only in rotation, one after other, along with the neem-based pesticides. And at least flowering fruit set is done. After that, it should not be applied. And the other group of viruses are the thrips transmitted taspoviruses, which are again, when you see thrips feeding damage, thrips causes 2 types of damage. One is as a pest, it sucks the sap and the leaves will curl at the margin, upward curling. And also it transmits as a vector, it transmits the virus taspoviruses, which will lead to the death or necrosis of the leaves as well as plant growth, apical portions, and sometimes necrosis you can see even on the fruits. Now there are 2 types of thrips now in Chile. The last 5 years, we have one is the Scirtothrips tallis, which is a well-known and age-old thrips species which is present. When it is present, you will find upward curling, stunting, this type of symptoms. You see very much common. And the management is again seed treatment with imidacloprid and then sticky straps, blue sticky straps, white sticky straps. But chemicals, let us see when all together. There is now a new species called chili black thrips, which is a Thrips parvispinus. This has become serious in the past 5 years, where it feeds heavily on the leaf as well as on the flower buds, they will stay, and also damages the ovary and stigma, and there is a reduction in the quality fruits and size development. They are very serious for past 2-3 years in throughout chili growing areas. Earlier in Chile, it was in Tamil Nadu, in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. Now it is seen in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and all other parts. It is coming. Here again, the physical barrier important. The border cropping with maize or sorghum, and the reflective mulches used in the rows, and then sanitation, removal and destruct infested leaves, and place yellow or blue sticky traps so that it will attract the adult thrips and reduce. And spraying of combination of Beauveria bassiana, Verticillium lecani, and the neem oil will be effectively reduction in this. If it is population is still not reducing, then you can use for chemicals such as toluene mix 1.5 ml for 2 or fleximitamide 1.5 ml or Garcia 1 liter or brofenilide, which is 300 is a granule form 300 grams per liter, you can be sprayed. Or sometimes imamectin benzoate or ivermectin group of insecticides also will be effective in farmers generally use Pegasus, Delegate, and Kevin. Each chemical should be used in rotation along with the neem-based pesticides. It will be very effective and should not be used to spray every alternate day. It should be given a gap of week to 10 days interval. And as a whole, viruses and sucking pest management, it is again from the nursery stage seedling preparation with bio-enrichment of microbial, then mix with the neem seed kernel and neem cake or FOM, enriched with bioformulations. Then they should be used for seedling raising, and they should be grown under the protective net or in the net cover, not like open beds, which is prone for the sucking pest. And when you grow such a protected condition, you see highly healthy quality seedlings which can be grown, and then it is very effective in main field when you plant. In the main field management, again, the seedling application of systemic insecticides, acephate or pipronil, once in 10 days, 2 sprays enough in the seedling stage. Then at the main field again, growing border crop, maize or jowar, and then mulching with silver or white polythene sheet. Use of yellow and blue sticky traps, at least 15 to 20 per acre. And then rotational spray of insecticides, acephate followed by neem, along with the neem-based pesticide, followed by spiromespin or followed by benevia, like that 5 to 6 sprays until flowering and fruit formation. After that, it should be stopped. And then you can apply the micronutrient 1 round or seaweed extract, which can boost the immunity to the plants. Other than chemical pesticides should not be applied after fruit set is done. Wherever the varieties are there for tolerant to viruses or the fungal diseases, they should be used for. And you should avoid growth hormones and unregistered biotonics or pesticides which are in the market. Should not be used for spraying these things. In the integrated approach, I am showing some of the farmers' field which are grown. See 2 rows of maize, mulching, sticky traps. You can see the growth and the yield and very good yield and these things under such. Nowadays, there is a cloth which comes very thin cloth, which can be used as a protective cover during seedling after transplanting until flowering and fruit formation. It is covered and sprayed and then covered and removed and then sprayed. It can be used till fruit formation, then it can be removed, this cloth. This is now currently followed some parts of Karnataka and in Maharashtra. And the major issue in erratic weather conditions are the ones which are followed. The problem of glut or failure of crops. One is unpredictable weather parameter patterns, heavy rain coming suddenly or untimely rains. Sometimes we don't expect in the monsoon time, but other unmonsoon seasons it will come. During that time, the crop is about to harvest or about to flower. During that time, rain damages heavily both tomato and chili. That crops will get failed, and the price raise will be increased. And this is a huge loss for the farmers. It impacts a larger extent. And the other aspect is when season is starting, that time the rain doesn't come and even delayed rains. or less rainfall, which lead to the drought conditions. Again, farmer either planted and the crop is get failed, or the crop is not sown at all because of less rainfall. These are the ones which is impacting the farmers drastically. And this is how the yields will change and reduced. And because of these uncertainties, farmers also now start continuous cropping, sometimes different seasons to continuously plant. And that leads to, again, survival of the insects, pests, and diseases, which becomes more and more during cropping period. Then the other strain or burden to the farmers is the high cost, increase in the cost of inputs, the seed cost, because of seeds now currently, hybrid seeds which cost more, and the seeds cost is increasing. And then fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, people are depending heavily, and then there is increase in cost of the chemical fertilizers. And then the fertilizer pesticide costs are increased, and there is a repeated use and heavy application of these inputs. The cost of production enhances, whereas the returns on the produce is less because of the market price, low market price. That time also it is constrained by the farmer. The imbalance also added due to profitability farming because it is lack of storage conditions, transport conditions, and market linkage is not there. So that is why sometimes the tomato becomes glut, and then the farmers throw on the roads. Now currently increasing cost is the labor non-availability and high cost of labor cost even. Now laborers are migrating towards urban areas where the construction, civil works, and other areas which is happening. People get higher wages compared to the agriculture, and that is, and even the tendency of people are now not ready to work under agriculture fields, which is again concern causing the reduction in the agriculture production growth, and there is a burden for the farmer in terms of producing quality. With all these arts, we should, the farmer is able to bring the produce. Now there should be a support price for the vegetable crops, so that under unfavorable conditions, under these conditions, you should be able to get the sufficient price, at least the investment what he has put, if he gets back, he is profitable. Otherwise, farmers will lose interest and then the production stopped. Thank you, one and all. If there is any clarification questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for an informative presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir, so that we can see your full video?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll move on to the questions now. What irrigation methods have proven to be successful in tomato and chili farming, especially in water scarce regions?
Drip irrigation is now many people are farmers are followed, at least in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra. At least in northern part, they have plenty of water, they go flood irrigation. But I recommend that you should not use water. Saving is very, very critical input. We should follow drip irrigation and then use water saving methods.
Okay. Are there any innovative technologies or tools that can help optimize tomato and chili production?
Whatever I have shown are innovative only. Some of the applications in the mulching sheet and the nylon cover, all those are all the protection with less chemical inputs, it can be covered.
Okay. How can the challenges in marketing and selling tomatoes be addressed?
So marketing is a big issue. It is to be, I think now currently farmers are making, farmers produce companies, FPOs. when they can collectively make themselves, say production side, and then they themselves should market it, put some market shops. Some farmers should do marketing, some farmers should produce, like that the chain is developed. There is now many institutions, universities, and are giving guidance, and government also giving subsidy for these farmer produce companies. If you are inputs to, for example, tractor hiring, spraying instruments to be purchased, all that with a low price, they can hire as a group of people, so that the input cost can be reduced.
Okay. Can you share experience with organic farming practices in tomato and chili cultivations?
Tomato, it is possible. Chili, again, it's a difficult process. Being organic means whatever I explained, I was giving chemicals at the last only. If you are not able to manage, use the chemicals. The best way I can say, instead of 100% organic, we can put as a good agriculture practice, use minimal pesticides, chemical pesticides. Currently, we have if you say 100% organic, if you want, we need to enrich first is the soil carbon. Soil health has to be improved. For that, we are now having farmyard manure, which is not available because of the less cattle population, and now that is one reason. In addition, if it is available with limited cattle also, we can make more products out of that. Use cow dung and prepare some bacteria and use slurry, make it, and it can be now microbial formulations are the one which are there now. There are several bacteria and fungi which are multiplied liquid or solid formulations and can be applied to the soil at the root zone system. The soil capacity, carbon capacity, and soil strength can be enhanced by applying these microorganisms, so that when the the soil media is good, ultimately the roots growth will be good, the plant able to get more nutrients from the soil, so that they can produce good yield. When they on this ground surface and the above ground, when the insect pests and others are there, when microbial formulations are used more in the soil, because of the interaction, they generate certain chemical regulations in the plant defensive systems, which avoid the insects also and some diseases. In addition, these microbial formulations we can spray on the plant. Therefore, it can protect even fungal diseases, virus, and even bacteria, and minimize the disease incidence. It is not 100% disease free, it is not available, but it can reduce. Our aim should be optimum and high productivity of yield. If we are getting economic yields better way, then these formulations and all can help in a better way. And use neem-based botanical formulations which are available, and seaweed extracts. Now currently there are several seaweed extracts available, which can be also trigger or strengthening the plant system. So that is also useful in some way of enhancing defensive mechanisms in the plant. They are all useful for the plant. So these are all the organic means only, not using any chemicals. And the people are now recommending the cow urine and all, but again, it becomes a limitation of availability. If the plenty of availability is there, then farmers should go for that. If not available, the microbes mixed with along with this is the best way. And these microbes are going to help in a greater way. We should use more extent vermicompost, and also these microbial formulations are the ones we should follow more and more.
Okay. What are the next question, sir? What strategies can be adopted to minimize post-harvest losses in tomato and chili production?
The proper stage of harvesting, one thing. Another is the storage. You see, if you are in case of chili, the drying is one important quality, because most of the time when we harvest and they dry it on the soil surface, during that time, some of the, if the highly where the wet conditions, the fruits are put on the soil, the microbes and which are present in the air and in the surface of the fruit, due to humid conditions, they attract more and get spoiled. So now government in some of the states like Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra, they are giving a sheet which is given to cover on the sheet on the ground surface, and that you dry these plants, the fruits, so that the contamination of the microbes are avoided from the soil contamination, and proper drying. And also there are solar drying systems are now available, are given for the growers in some states. This will help in the reducing the post-harvest losses in case of chilies and whereas in tomato again, rains are the main thing, unusual rain when it comes, and tomato is a fresh being. Transport is a problem. If you long distance transport facility is not there, a farmer is not able to distribute, then it's a problem. So the packaging, one is packaging in a system so that those packaging boxes are arranged and then transported, it will be a little bit losses can be reduced. And proper stage of harvest is also important. And those conditions our government should help in speedy transport and establishment of market linkages. That will reduce the losses. Otherwise, the middlemen traders, when they are involved, they spoil, and the farmer when goes to the market, they don't give attention and pay immediately. If there is more production, they delay or ask them to pay for less price. During that time, lot of storage time, losses will be more. In any marketing place, we should government should establish some storage facility so that the price fluctuation at least for 3-4 days can be held.
Okay. Are there government initiatives or support programs available to assist tomato and chili farmers?
Yeah, there are now. Government of India has initiated a challenge program in tomato production, and they are asking advices and ideas. The program initiated, and they wanted to take action plan in this year. And in case of Karnataka and also Andhra Pradesh, there is a supporting price system for chili and tomato. Other states, it is not there.
Okay. So can you provide insights on crop rotation and intercropping techniques that works well with tomatoes and chilies?
Yeah, that is, see, for example, I told border cropping maize. Border cropping alone, not only, even intercropping maize followed by 2-4 rows of chili or tomato. It is the useful one, wherein it is also avoiding the sucking pests, and thereby you are, see the maize now, there are 2 types of maize. One is the sweet corn, another is the normal maize. See, if you put sweet corn is like a vegetable only, you have high market now demand. That is one. If you are thinking the vegetable market is not demanding, then you grow normal grain maize only in between. That is one aspect. Second is, in between also you can grow beans, legume crop, where it also enhances the soil fertility and the price is balanced. If say tomato intercropped with beans or chili intercropped with beans, if the tomato price is falling, at least beans price will be stable. So that way it will enhance the economy, the improve the income of the farmer. If one crop is failed, another crop is able to supply that. You can grow in vegetables, any of these vegetables, even cabbage you can grow, and beans you can grow, cowpea you can grow, which can give the income in a short time also.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Mr. M Krishna Reddy for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed.